Yo, and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. It is time to do something a little bit different. I get asked all the time whenever I show a couple of comics to do more videos on my comic collection. And so that's what it's going to be today. So I'm not baseball collector today, I guess I'm comic collector today. And what I thought I would show off today is this amazing series that has been going on since 2015 for the Marvel Star Wars series. When they rebooted their comic series, when the new movies started coming out in 2015, they commissioned an artist, John Christopher Tyler, to paint or create these covers that are based on the old Kenner Star Wars action figures. And if you're a kid of the 70s and 80s like me, it was absolutely must-have to get your Star Wars figures. And so they have paid great homage here, and there are tons of these. This is going to be a very long video, but I think you will enjoy it if you like Star Wars comics, if you like nostalgia, if you like the old action figures, because you will be able to see a lot of these kind of come to life on a comic book cover. And they've been doing them since 2015 all the way to now. There are well over 100 of them. I am only missing one of the entire run. And so you see here, these aren't going to be exactly kind of in order. They're going to be in the way that I have them organized. They'll be in somewhat of an order. And the reason I haven't done comic videos before is I always had a hard time figuring out a setup that made sense. And so I may be doing a little bumbling and fumbling through this, but you'll eventually see everything. And so when you're doing a 16:9 shot with longer, 8.5:11 subjects, the comic books, it makes it difficult. So we're going to do our best. I'm going to do my best to show you these. I think I'm going to do 2 at a time because it fills up the frame and it will go faster. So as you see on the left, one thing they did was did a Midtown Comics exclusive of all of the original figures. And so this was on the back of a box, back of a set. They did like these previews of the figures that were coming out in 1977. And so this cover on the left just kind of pays tribute to that. And then on the right, number 1, the first one, Star Wars number 1, they did Luke Skywalker, the old school Luke Skywalker, which is really awesome. So what you'll notice now, I'm going to pull these and get 2 more. That'll go there, that'll go there. See how that looks? Good. So I kind of keep all my Luke Skywalkers together. One thing before I move on completely. So this original Luke Skywalker, there is a black and white version of this that is incredibly expensive, and that is literally the only one I am missing, is the black and white Luke Skywalker original. All the other ones I have, so you'll get to see them here. You got Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot. You've got Luke Skywalker Hoth Battle Gear. Again, these are all figures that I remember having. You got Luke Skywalker Bespin Fatigues, when he fought Darth Vader and eventually lost his arm. And then you've got Yavin, when he was on Yavin. Awesome. Those are all the Luke Skywalkers I have. Now we got a Han Solo run. So Han Solo shows up in this series a lot. The first one is Star Wars number 2. And then he had a solo title, Han Solo number 1. So you can see up here on each of the comics which issue it is, so you can follow along. But you got the original Han Solo on the left, Bespin outfit on the right. You got 2 more Han Solos. So you've got Carbonite Chamber on the left, which is cool. Han Solo and Carbonite, we all remember that. And Han Solo Hoth outfit. I remember the Hoth scene when he's cutting open the animal to stick Luke in. It may not smell great, kid, but it'll keep you warm. I love it. So there's that. Another Han Solo here in a trench coat. So that's from Return of the Jedi when they were on Endor fighting against the the Empire. Then you got Obi-Wan Kenobi. Great Obi-Wan shot there. Then they combine in a lot of things that are part of the new series too. So it's not just old school characters that we remember. It's a lot of new school characters as well as just characters we may not have even ever heard of because they're only in the comics or somewhere else. So we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi from, you know, the first redos, or the first, I guess, first three. Ian McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You got Chewbacca, classic Chewbacca. So this is Age of the Republic variant, and then that's Star Wars base, kind of flagship number 4 for Chewbacca. We got a bunch of C-3POs, all kinds of different C-3POs. There's 2 right here. You've got, this is Star Wars number 5, the regular C-3PO on the left. On the right, C-3PO had his own standalone title, and that's C-3PO number 1. He's got the red arm, you can see there. Okay. It's just really amazing artwork too. And these 2 are appropriate to be together. You've got C-3PO here on the left, which is actually Star Wars number 28 with removable limbs. So we all remember Chewie carrying around C-3PO around the floating city, Cloud City, when he got torn apart, and R2-D2 over on the right. Lots of people's favorite character is R2-D2. It's easy to understand why. Okay. There's several R2-D2s. Here's one with sensor scope, and then one with a lightsaber. So those are 2 great scenes. We've got Star Wars number 27 on the left, Star Wars 61 on the right. R2-D2 was very resourceful. He did a lot of cool things. I only have one graded one, and I'm going to go ahead and show that now because it's easy. Put that in the middle. So this is Star Wars number 4. It's Boba Fett. And somewhere in here, oh, there it is. Better move this over. So there's the regular version, and then there's a black and white version of that. And I have them both. Ironically, this is Star Wars number 4 on the left, and the one on the right is Star Wars number 7. So they don't always do them at the same time. But the Boba Fett's a really tough one. Glad to have that. Get that out of the way. Next up, we've got Stormtrooper and a Tusken Raider. So these are Star Wars 7 and 8. So you see, in the earlier you are in the series, the more likely you are to remember the characters because they were kind of original OG characters. They did so much stuff. There's a Star Destroyer commander and a Jawa. So cool. Star Wars 9 and 10. Next up, we've got Greedo, who met a demise in the cantina thanks to Han Solo. And R5-D4, another droid that was on, oh gosh, Tatooine. Can't believe I'm remembering as much as I'm remembering, quite honestly. I would be surprised. All right, so next up we got 2 other bounty hunter guys, and that's not bounty hunter guys that were in the cantina. You had Hammerhead and Snaggletooth. I remember having these as kids. And look how cool. I mean, it does the bubbling kind of look of the surrounding the figure, everything. It just looks so amazing. And again, these are all figures I remember having or wanting, I guess. Could be both of those. So here we go with Death Star Droid, Walrus Man, 16 and 17, flagship Star Wars run. And you can see the cost. They're not crazy. Like, here's the price tag on, they're $4, $5 a piece. Some of the other ones can be pretty expensive, but if this is something you want to go try to get, they're not that crazy. There are several Yodas, and they're not all together, but we got Power Droid on the left, and then Yoda. I remember having the Power Droid figure, and it wouldn't move very well. It was kind of clunky. Interesting. And then Yoda. There's several Yodas. They're all very cool. Next we got two more. Stormtrooper Hoth battle gear. We all remember them coming into the base on Hoth, and Dengar, who was a bounty hunter. Star Wars 21 and 22. We got Rebel Soldier Hoth battle gear. I remember having that Hoth battle set, and you always wanted a lot of Rebel soldiers because they all got killed, so I had multiples of that figure. And then Lobot, who was the assistant to Lando Calrissian. Hopefully this is fun for you guys. I don't know. I enjoy showing them off. I've never shown them all off. Star Wars 25 and 26 has IG-88, who was a bounty hunter, and then 2-1B, who I had no idea that was actually that character's name, the medical droid, essentially, I think, that helped Luke. Then we got some newer characters, and I say newer in the Star Wars sequence, but on the left you've got Qui-Gon Jinn. On the right, AT-AT Commander, AT-AT Commander. Some people say AT-AT, some people say AT-AT. These are cool. There's another medical droid. I remember having that character, and these little white things would come out and pop out, and they would break off so easily. And then you've got Bespin Security Guard. So you can definitely tell that not all of these characters are, like mainline characters. He's done so many. I'm literally not even halfway done. So, hope you enjoy the ride here. Bosk. Oops. Ugnaught. Star Wars 33 and 35. Rebel Commander. Snaggletooth. So, Rebel Commander on the left, not a big deal. That's from a Hoth scene. The right one, you're like, I already saw Snaggletooth, but he was in red. They did originally for Kenner, they did a figure where Snaggletooth was dressed differently and taller. Notice how much taller he is. And they got rid of that figure because it wasn't as true to the movie. And so they put in the regular Snaggletooth in red, the shorter version. So that's kind of cool. Some of these, and I can't remember exactly which ones. If I can, I remember. If I remember, that's great. But some of them were just on. You could just buy them on John Tyler Christopher's website. So they were online exclusives, and different companies have done online. Different stores have done online exclusives, and so I have to really pay attention to what's being issued, so that I can go get them when they come out, because I don't want to have to screw with dealing with it later. So we already saw AT-AT AT-AT Commander. Now there's the driver, and then an Imperial Commander. So cool. Next up, we got two guys that look very similar, but we got Zuckuss, who I have no idea where he was in the movies, and Forlom, which I think Forlom was a bounty hunter. Next, we got two pilots. We got an Imperial TIE Fighter pilot, and we've got a twin pod cloud car pilot. don't know if y'all remember having TIE fighters and cloud cars. Those were sets that were usually out of my price range as a kid. I couldn't ever get all the big, all the vehicles, all the sets. I did have a speeder and some other stuff, but there's Mr. Bib Fortuna. He must be allowed to speak. And Jabba the Hutt called him a weak-minded fool. And there's Reese. So, again, not your mainline characters, but then you got that guy Weequay, and then a Bespin security guard. I remember Weequay was one of the guys that got thrown into the pit and eaten by that monster on Tatooine off the barge, off the sail barge. And you've got a different security guard there. These next two are both from the same deal. We got Emperor's Royal Guard on the left, which is cool. I remember those costumes and those guards for the Emperor looking just like, whoa, those are cool looking. And then, of course, Ewoks. We've got several Ewoks that are in this series. Now we're cruising pretty good. There's Lando and another Ewok. You got the Ewok Shaman, Logray, and Lando in Skiff guard disguise. The name on the left is classic. Squidhead, that's just his name, Squidhead. He just looks like a squid. That's hilarious. And true. Then you got Klaatu over on the right. I know the Jabba the Hutt was an online exclusive, and it's really cool because you can only see it's kind of half here. It cuts off. On the back is the other half of the figure. He goes all along, and then there's that little dude that goes hee 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 hee. I can't remember his name, but he's in it too on the picture. So that's kind of a wraparound cover is what they call that. It's very cool. And then the Gamorrean Guard. I just used to call those the piggies, the green pig guys. All right. Two more Rebel figures. We've got General Madine. And then on the right, Nien Nunb, who was like the co-pilot for Lando in the final scene or whatever. Here we've got Biker Scout. I always thought those were cool looking guys too. How many different stormtroopers? You had stormtroopers for regular, you had Biker Scout looking dudes, you had the Hoth guys, so many different ways to dress a stormtrooper. And then Admiral Akbar met his demise in the most recent Star Wars movie. So two guys, I guess they were on the skiff stuff, but Nikto and Klaatu, who we already saw, but this is him in a different outfit, apparently. So there's that. So then we got an A-Wing pilot, and then Yoda, Jedi Master. Very, very cool. I love Yoda. How can you not love Yoda, right? I mean, he's one of the most beloved figures. So here we got Teebo, not Tim Tebow, but one of the Ewok leaders, and then AT-ST driver. If I remember right, the AT-STs were the smaller little, not the AT-ATs, which were huge, but the little ones that kind of ran really fast on two legs. So there's those. Moving along. Hope y'all think this is cool. Getting into the these are the newer ones that have come out and characters that I have no idea who they are. So we got two droids, EV-99 and 8D8. No idea, but I have them. Here we go with the Imperial Gunner on the left. I remember that guy being in the scene when they would power up the Death Star and it would make that sound, woo, and it would get ready to fire the Death Star. Those guys. And then Valance, who is a comic-only character, shows that he's damaged. He looks like a cyborg. It's like something from the Terminator or something. Then we've got, I'm just going to show that one by itself real quick. That's the TIE Fighter. So TIE Fighter has its own series, TIE Fighter #1, and I don't know, this is the only comic that pictures a vehicle, so that's kind of interesting. And we've got some Jedi Masters here of Mace Windu. You got the regular Mace Windu on the right, and then some battle gear. I can't even say, I don't even try to say that. Hisrich or something. And again, that's a comic exclusive kind of thing. That character and that gear, not something seen in the movies. So it mixes the movies and the comics pretty well. It kind of just tries to show all of it from the Star Wars stuff. Get to some bad guys here. We've got Darth Maul on the left, who was always just one of those crazy, scary characters. And Darth Sidious. Then you've got the Emperor and Darth Vader. Classic figure, the Darth Vader. And then we all know the Emperor. We've got some showing Anakin before he got totally crazy, but there's Anakin on the left, regular Anakin, and then Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. Getting close. Now we're getting into some figures that are comics and figures that I have no idea who these characters are. We've got Inspector Thanos and Toulon. I assume these are from the comics. And you've got Silo and BT-1. And we've got 000, who is a very C-3PO looking figure. And then Dr. Aphra, who's a very famous character in the Star Wars world in the comics. And like I said, there are some that are exclusive to certain stores. So here you see one. This is General Tagge or Tagge. And you've got the regular on the left and the black and white on the right. And these are from Most Good Hobby, which is a store. So I had to buy those from them directly. Next up, we got, again, some different characters. We got Grand Admiral Thrawn on the left, who has his own comic series. He's a character from some of the books and stuff. He's a guy that takes over in the Empire. And then you've got one of the Wookiees over on the right. I am definitely not going to try to pronounce that. So, again, you can see the variety of figures and how many there are. I keep wondering when they're going to stop because, I mean, how many more can there be, really? Over on the left, Kylo Ren. That was an online exclusive as well. Then you got Lando Calrissian. So typically, if they will start a new series for a character, like here is Lando #1, they'll do an action figure variant of that character, which I always think is neat. And you've got Lando as he was played in the new movies. And then we got a bunch of Princess Leia coming up. So there's from Leia #1, which was her series. I think we all remember these characters, these figures. We got Leia in Bespin gown, Leia in a Hoth outfit, And I don't know about you guys, but I totally had the hots for Carrie Fisher back in the day. I thought she was just, don't know what to tell you. I just did. Not going to deny it. I did. There's 2 more. I think Leia might have the most covers of anyone. I've got 5 of her already. Maybe her and Luke. There she is on the left. Yavin gown at the ceremony at the end of Star Wars, the original. And you got her in her disguise when she rescues Han from the carbonite. And you've even got some of the newer characters. Here is Poe Dameron. It's got a regular and a black and white, so that's cool. I don't know what makes them decide to do black and whites or not, but we've only got 4 more. We're almost done. So you got 2 here from the Rogue One movie. You got Jen Erso and K2SO, the awesome robot. And then also from Rogue One, you've got director Krennic, who, that's a Tate's Comics exclusive. And then you got this one here from the Phantom Menace, Anakin Skywalker, which has a little bit different look, which they changed the look of from the original design for the card of the figure. They did some different things later on in different series, but that's the only one of those that kind of looks like that, is the young Anakin. So there you go, guys. Almost 30 minutes of comics. I hope you enjoyed that. That's a great run through all of the action figure variants that exist for Star Wars. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below. And no matter whether it's cards or comics, keep collecting.